Entrepreneurship, more than a business, a life decision. Discover what entrepreneurship really means and why it is not only an economic goal, but a journey of personal growth. The moment of entrepreneurship. Have you ever dreamed of being your own boss? Have a business that not only generates money, but also purpose? Entrepreneurship is not a fad or an easy way out. It's a leap into the void, but with wings that are built in the air. And although everyone talks about success, few talk about the process. Today I tell you the truth behind starting a business. Why start a business? Entrepreneurship starts with a spark, an idea, a need, or a passion. But beyond the motivation, the important thing is the why. Do you want freedom? Impact lives? Get out of the routine? That why will be your anchor when nothing seems to work. Because entrepreneurship is not just about selling, it's about solving real problems. And when you help others, the business stops being a burden and becomes an engine. Realities, what no one tells you. Entrepreneurship is hard. There are days when you don't sell anything. Others when you wonder if it's all worth it. There are no bosses, but there is no security either. There are no schedules, but work around the clock. Frustration, fear, mistakes are included. But also come learning, creativity, and a satisfaction that compares to nothing. Practical steps to get started. So how do you get started? Here are 4 basic steps. 1. Identify a problem or need. 2. Your idea must make sense to others. 3. Not just for you. 4. Validate your product or service. 5. Ask questions. 6. Test. 7. Adjust. 8. Don't marry the first version. 9. Make a simple plan. 10. You don't need 50 pages. 11. You need clear direction and goals. 12. Start small. 13. But start. 14. The best plan is no good if it is not executed. Remember, the perfect is the enemy of the done. Entrepreneurial mentality. The most important resource is not money. It is your mind. To be an entrepreneur is to think of solutions, not excuses. It is to fall 10 times and get up 11 times. It is to learn to live with uncertainty and still move forward. It is making difficult decisions without guarantees. And it is to understand that every failure is a step towards success. Case studies. You are not born knowing. Nobody is born knowing how to be an entrepreneur. Jeff Bezos started out selling books from his garage. Sarah Blakely sold girdles door to door before founding Spanx. Even in your town, you be sure to know someone who started with nothing more than desire and today has their own business. They weren't geniuses. They were just persistent. What you gain when you start. You don't just gain income. You gain independence, skills, self-knowledge. You gain stories, customers who become friends, and a life you chose to build. It won't be easy, but it will be yours. When people think of entrepreneurship, they think of money. But money is only part of it. What you gain when you start a business goes way beyond that. You gain freedom. You don't have to ask permission to live your life. You decide your schedule, your rules, your way of working. It's not that you work less. It's that you work with purpose. You gain impact. See how what you do helps others, improves their day, solves a problem. That's not measured in revenue, is felt in the soul. Your business is no longer just yours, becomes something that touches lives. You gain personal growth. Every day you face new challenges. You learn sales, marketing, finance, you gain leadership. You become stronger, more disciplined. Entrepreneurship is the best school of life. You gain community. Other entrepreneurs like you. People who inspire you, understand you, and accompany you along the way. Because, although the journey is personal, you don't have to do it alone. You gain confidence. You look back and see how much you have grown. You remember your doubts, your fears, and you smile. Because you made it. Step by step. With no guarantees. But with determination. Yes, entrepreneurship can make you money. But it also gives you a meaningful life. It gives you autonomy, pride, and the certainty that you are creating something of your own. That's what you gain when you start a business. And it's worth much more than you can imagine. I'm going to show you something that's worth gold. How to remove the fear of starting a business. 1. Accept that fear is part of the process. It is not a question of eliminating it, but of acting in spite of the fear. Even the great entrepreneurs had doubts when they started. If you feel fear, it is a sign that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. That's growth. 2. Start small and try it out. You don't have to quit your job or invest all your money from day one. Start in parallel. Do a pilot test. Launch a simple version. Be prepared, but don't be paralyzed. Research, learn the basics, but don't get stuck in the eternal planning stage. No one starts out knowing everything. Improve as you go along. Action teaches more than any course. 4. Surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. Talk to people who are already entrepreneurs, join groups or mentorships. Listening to their stories will give you confidence. What scares you today, others have already overcome. 5. Make a plan with real numbers. Much of the fear comes from financial uncertainty. A basic plan with goals, income, costs, and a budget can give you clarity and reduce anxiety. 6. Define your why. What motivates you to start? What would you lose if you don't try? Being clear about your purpose helps you overcome fear when doubts creep in. 7. Accept that failure is learning. Failure does not make you a failure. It is part of the journey. Every mistake brings you closer to what works. Refocus, it's not failure, it's iteration. 8. Do it with fear, but do it. Fear is overcome in action. Every step you take strengthens you and shows you that you can do more than you thought you could. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Goodbye.